with DLC, the only show that hopes third time's the charm. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob Griffin, and sitting across from me is the creepy crawly, Brad Knight.
Creepy crawly, very spooky.
Yeah, it's because Halloween's coming up. Thought we'd get ready for it.
It is, and let's hope third time's the charm, because episode 2 was a hot mess.
Oh, yeah.
It was every technical difficulty we could possibly imagine and more.
Yeah. And so what that has done is had us revitalize what we're going to do with the show here.
Yes.
What we're going to do is this will kind of be just an audio-only podcast for a while until we get the streaming thing that we want to do up.
Yes.
But as of now, it'll just be a audio-only podcast with a video that links you out to our SoundCloud, or, because we're on iTunes now, also a link to the iTunes. So if you're an Apple user, you can listen to us. We're working on Stitcher. We're waiting for them to get back to us about that.
But we are hopeful.
We're hopeful.
And I mean, if iTunes let our show on, they must just let anybody on.
Yeah, I mean, our show's terrible.
Well, let's move right along into what are we playing then.
What are you playing this week?
I played a little bit of the Valiant Hearts thing that was free on Xbox.
That like dog game?
Yeah, it's a. I'm gonna be straight honest. I didn't really like it.
Really?
Yeah, I kept hearing everybody was like, oh, it's really great. The story's really good. It's one of those. It's a 2D puzzle platformer, but it's very very simple, and you only play it to like kind of progress with the story. And I'm not a huge fan of those kind of games.
It's one of the few games that takes place in World War I, so that's pretty cool.
It's weird. It's not the generic World War II stereotype.
Yeah.
World War I.
It's always cool to see a different kind of war. And it's cool to see it from the perspective of a dog, I guess?
Yeah. I played about 45 minutes of it, and just from what I learned, the story is it's about a family who gets broken up by the war. Like, the boyfriend gets drafted into Germany's army, and the father has to go fight for, I think it's the French.
Right.
And as far as I got, he just met the dog, and I realized that about like 45 minutes to an hour in, the puzzles weren't really getting any harder. It wasn't getting any more challenging, so I'm like, I'm not going to play this. I like to be rewarded for my story. I don't want to just be given it to me.
Anything else? Or
I started a little bit of The Walking Dead Season 1, but I already kind of knew what happened because I'd watched a live stream of it, so I wasn't too eager to get through it.
See, I'm with you on that one because I know what happens in it, but on 360 I only bought episode 1. Yeah. And so when I was going back to play it, I already knew what happened in episode 1. Yep. So I was just like trying to get through it, and I'm like, I don't know what happens in Season 2, so I'm really only playing this to get a save that can go over to Season 2 if I want to play it. But yeah. I was thinking about giving that Minecraft game a shot, but then I didn't end up doing it, and I'll explain why.
Oh, what, the story mode?
Yes.
I've heard decent things about it.
I have too. But, so Xbox was having a pretty good sale the past 2 weeks, at least on 360 stuff. So I was just, I was screwing around on 360, and GTA San Andreas was on sale for 360. I was like, I haven't played San Andreas in years. Yeah. I want to play this. And it was like $3. So I was just like, let's go for it, So I played it, and it plays weird on 360. They've changed the controls around a little bit to make it more modernized. Like, the triggers are drive now. Oh. And I don't know if it's just weird, like, and this maybe was the way it was on PS2, and I just don't remember, but right trigger is aim. Like, really? Lock on. Yeah, it's weird.
I don't think that's how it was. It could have been, but
it could have been, but
in years.
The thing is, though, is that on the PS2, circle button was shoot, and that's the way it is on Xbox. So it was just B because that's where circle is. Yeah. So that played a little weird, but then what happened this week, and I was really excited about this, was Fallout New Vegas was on sale for like $5. Yep. And so the money I had on my account basically all went away with these two games. Because I got New Vegas because I want to get ready for Fallout 4. I want to get in that mindset of Fallout 4. And I got it, and that game is so janky. And plays so, like, the shooting plays so poorly unless you use VATS that, but I still love it. Yeah. It's just, it seems like it turns... And I can totally understand why if anybody plays this and they don't like it, I get it. Because it plays weird, the graphics look bad, on 360 at least. On PC, it's, you know, you can do some graphics mods to it, make it look nice.
Yeah.
But it looks bad, so I get why if anybody ever played this game and was like, this is a piece of crap, I get it.
Yep.
But it's so fun.
Fallout's one of those franchises where, like, either you love it or you hate it. There really is nobody in the middle.
Yeah. It was just, it was a good time. And then, this is not a video game, but yesterday I saw Goosebumps, the movie.
Oh.
Highly recommend it. Everyone should go see it.
I mean, it is the later half of October, so horror movies are everywhere.
And this is a good one for kids, too. So if you have kids or you are a kid and you're listening to this, you should bug your parents to go see Goosebumps.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't read the Goosebumps books when they were a kid?
Did you read the Goosebumps books when you were a kid?
I absolutely did.
I read probably a majority of them.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't, you have a deprived childhood. And I don't even like horror, and that says something.
There's a lot of, like, good little Easter eggs to the books in it. Like, some of the monsters come out and stuff, and then there's just some stuff, like, in the fake version of R.L. Stein's house. Like, they're in a basement, and there's a cuckoo clock, and I'm like, it's the cuckoo clock of doom. But, yeah, so I felt like a kid again when I saw it, but saw it yesterday. Good movie.
It is.
Yeah. And on that note, because we've pretty much probably talked about everything we can with what we're playing.
Yeah, we're preparing for
the mindset of November. We got like one more good week.
Oh yeah, one more slow week, and then it's just
right. Yeah.
Yep.
One more week. Next week, and then the Friday after next, Black Ops 3.
Yep.
And that's when it's the beginning of the end.
As we go through every year.
Of my bank account, it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. My bank account's already almost seen its end, so...
Yeah. But, so now we're going to move on to the news. So we got, not as many news stories as last week, because, we want to keep it a little shorter, but we have some that I feel like we're going to go longer on.
Yeah, we feel we have some more important news stories. No more, Street Fighter characters.
Yeah. I'm going to start off here this week, and I'm going to talk about PewDiePie getting a reality series on YouTube's new ad-free subscription service.
Oh, I had heard about this.
Yeah. Felix Kjellberg, I'm just going to call him PewDiePie, is starring in a video game-inspired reality series called Scare PewDiePie that's set to premiere in early 2016. The show won't be coming to standard YouTube, though. It'll only be coming to YouTube Red. YouTube Red, which Google will launch October 28th for $9.99 per month, will allow users to watch videos across YouTube without ads. The membership also gives members the option to download videos directly through the YouTube smartphone and tablet apps for offline viewing. Subscribers will also be able to play videos in the background so they can use other apps on their phone while a YouTube video plays. US-based users will also be able to take advantage of a free 30-day trial for YouTube Red. And
I feel it's important to mention that there is going to be YouTube Red exclusive content.
Yeah, PewDiePie show is a YouTube Red exclusive show.
And I know if anybody's familiar with Rooster Teeth, their movie is also going to be on YouTube Red.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll come to other stuff, though, too.
Yeah, that's kind of how Rooster Teeth does things. But I have a problem with this. I have a pretty severe problem with this, actually.
Right.
About 2 years ago, YouTube tried something similar, where they had paid subscription accounts, right? Where you subscribe to the channel and you pay a fee to access their content. And I think it still exists, it's just nobody ever uses it. And I guess they're trying it again with now a Netflix kind of esque subscription base. But some of these features I feel like shouldn't be hidden behind a paywall.
My problem, too, is that some of these features are already covered by other things that are free.
Yeah.
Like ad-free YouTube videos, just install AdBlock.
Yeah, I mean, most people do, and those who don't, I feel like the people who don't use AdBlock, the people like who are actually supporting these people, are going to get screwed because they're going to be longer ads now.
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, I feel like that's not what you want to be doing.
See, what I feel with this is, and with the whole thing of, everyone's been asking for the let YouTube videos play in the background while you're on your phone.
Yes, please.
Because people want to listen to music. And I remember the days where you could do that, kind of. Well, at least you could trick it into doing it. Because when I had my iPod Touch back in the day, before I got my iPhone, you could turn off your phone while you're watching the YouTube video, double-click it, and then it would come up with the play thing, and you could play it and listen to music.
Yeah.
You couldn't... I don't know if you could go into other ads and do it, but the fact that they're locking that behind a paywall...
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Is kind of messed up, because literally that's just, if you go into a thing and YouTube talks about anything, all probably the top comment is, we'll truly live in the future when we can play music, where we can back out of a video and the music doesn't stop playing.
Yeah, like
it's like a joke comment, but it's what people actually want.
It's incredibly annoying, especially those of us who use our phones like quite a bit for music. Like a lot of people just, I use it on a desktop, it doesn't matter to me, I don't care. Or if you're on a phone, use Spotify. Like no, I have a pretty specific playlist on YouTube that I want to listen to, but now I can't because
you can always just make that playlist on Spotify though too.
I mean, Spotify doesn't have everything.
No, yeah, you're right.
And especially depending on the music, it might not have it at all.
Yeah. But, like if it's just people who only make like stuff for like YouTube or SoundCloud sort of thing.
And some people just refuse to work with Spotify or Pandora in general. Like I know Taylor Swift doesn't have anything on Spotify.
It breaks my heart every time I go to Spotify. I'm like, man, I really want to listen to 1989 right now. Oh wait, I can't.
Yep. I mean, you could on YouTube, just don't tab out. I mean, you gotta stay on that screen.
Yeah, I gotta look at the album art for 1989 for like an hour and a half, but, at least I get to listen to the whole album.
Yep. I don't know. I have a problem with this, but I don't think it's gonna do well.
I don't have a problem with them making exclusive content for it. Like, this PewDiePie show, it's not gonna stop PewDiePie's regular videos, the subscriber base will be fine.
Yeah.
Like, with just his videos, but this PewDiePie reality show sounds like it could be kind of dumb.
He'd hinted that he was filming a TV series in LA. He had never said what it was or anything like this, and it's not been confirmed that this scare PewDiePie thing is what he was talking about. He hasn't said anything about that yet, but it's probably what it is.
From the title, this sounds like something like that would be on the channel G4 years ago when G4 existed.
I don't know why you'd want a PewDiePie reality show, but I get he has a lot of followers, he has a lot of people backing him. So if that's
the thing is that's exactly what it is though, is that he has a lot of people following him. So YouTube's like, let's make a show with him, because if we have a show with him, most of his subscribers will be like, I'll at least check out YouTube Red
and try to
and
use PewDiePie as the hook. And
the thing is, you pull them in with that 30-day trial, and they're like, wow, I love this YouTube Red thing. I get to watch I get to watch the Rooster Teeth movie.
Yep.
With not going illegal routes, or it'll probably eventually come out on Netflix.
Yeah, they have Red vs. Blue and Ruby on Netflix as well. So a lot of their content does go to Netflix.
Yeah. So this it just seems like another thing that they're trying to do.
I was a little confused at first because when it said users could browse ad-free content, I'm like, wait, what? Oh, right, and I have ad block.
Right, yeah.
I had to do that kind of like, wait, what?
You don't think about it. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I don't use adblock for everything. If I'm watching a streamer that I want to support, I'll run 2 streams. I'll put one in the background with adblock off on the lowest quality, so it's not sucking up bandwidth. And the one I'm watching, I'll have with adblock on in the lowest quality. So at least he's getting something, or she, depending on who I'm watching, I guess.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that's about as much as I want to say about that.
But moving on to another kind of sketchy story here, and this is just a quick one that we can talk about. Harmonix caught reviewing Rock Band 4 on Amazon. Rock Band 4 has been receiving some positive user reviews on Amazon, but a Reddit user noticed something strange. When you click through the wish list of some of the players reviewing the game, their real names match the names of developers employed at Harmonix. And then there's some pictures here of the reviews. I can't really read them. Mm-hmm. I wish I could, because they seem like they'd be pretty funny to read. So basically, it's just, they were caught reviewing it, and people reached out to Harmonix for clarification. Harmonix has clarified its internal policy about posting reviews of your own products on retail sites, and we've asked that the existing reviews edited to identify Harmonix employees or be removed entirely. So they're kind of forward-facing on it.
Yeah.
It seems like it wasn't Harmonix themselves as a company umbrella coming out doing this.
It was people at Harmonix.
Yeah. So it was certain people just being like, I'm going to go rogue from Harmonix here, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Now, for anybody who does not know who Harmonix is, Jacob, would you like to explain to them who Harmonix is?
Oh, Harmonix back in the day. Oh, that's crazy. The Harmonix actually, if you think of the 2 music games, they pretty much started both of them, because they did. They started Guitar Hero. They left after Guitar Hero 2. Then it went over to Neversoft. Then they created Rock Band, and then they did Dance Central. the big dancing series for the Kinect, and then they did that,
which did surprisingly well.
Yeah, it's the only good Kinect game, really.
Yeah.
And then they made that Fantasia game,
yep.
and now they've made Rock Band 4 again.
Yes.
So
for those who don't know, they are the makers of Rock Band 4 reviewing their own game.
Yeah. So, if...
A little bit of a biased opinion, if I must say.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, at least they're forward-facing with it. Good for them.
Yeah, at least they came out and they weren't just, trying to hide it.
Yeah, they went all, Scooby-Doo villain on us. You caught us.
Yeah, and I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for your dumb Redditors and your dumb dog.
Alright, so those are the only 2 news stories you had, right?
Yeah, that was I just looked quickly today to see some stuff, and I thought that PewDiePie thing was pretty big, and I thought that the Harmonix story was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I got a few more, and I'm going to start with one with a name you probably haven't heard in a while. Yeah. Sega.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I forget that Sega exists sometimes.
Yeah, I feel bad for Sega sometimes. But Sega trademarks possible new Valkyrie Chronicles title.
Oh, actually, I did play this. I don't play a lot of JRPGs, but I remember playing Valkyrie Chronicles and enjoying it.
It's a pretty popular one. They trademark Valkyrie of the Blue Revolution, which is similar to their older title of the Battlefield. So people are kind of speculating what this might be. The only details we know so far is that we only know the name and that it's attached to a video game. That's about all we know about it. But
I remember Valkyrie Chronicles 2 was on PSP.
Yep. It was localized for American release in 2010. That's the second one. The third one actually never came to the United States. It was a PSP only title in Japan, but some fans were able to successfully translate the game into English.
Wasn't Valkyrie Chronicles 2 only on PSP as well?
Yes. Well, in America at least. I don't know if it saw a console release in Japan.
Right.
But I know in Japan it's doing pretty well. But I don't know. Are you excited for this title?
Yeah, I played 1 and 2. I liked 1 and 2 a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be really good. It's good to see that Sega's still around.
Yeah, Sega's still doing something.
I'm surprised Sega hasn't died out yet, honestly. Because, I say that too, but then I remember too that they also own Atlas, so they do, Persona and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they have, probably a pretty big Japanese audience.
They're a very behind-the-scenes kind of name now. Before, they were the front-runners with Nintendo and all these other guys, but they kind of fell behind the scenes now. So they're still around, but they're not as apparent as they used to be.
They used to have the Marvel license, and they lost that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's see if Sega can make a comeback. We'll see.
And they have that great Sonic franchise now.
I mean, that's the one that shall not be named.
Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom.
Let's see. Twitch app now available for PlayStation 4.
Finally. Yeah, I hate the stupid Live from PlayStation app.
Yeah, if you have a PlayStation 4, you're very happy about this. Pretty short story. It's North America only, so sorry for you European and...
Woo!
The very, Mexican clients. I know
Here
Mexico's
comes
North
America coming in to ruin your good time.
Yeah, so North America only. It's a very small app, only 54 megabytes. And the viewing app will also come to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. Those versions are not currently listed.
Is it just basically the same thing as the Xbox app?
I haven't tried it myself. I don't know. But, I imagine it's going to be mostly the same thing. Yeah. Hopefully the Xbox app doesn't really have any problems. It's pretty stable.
No, the only thing that sucks is trying to stream with Twitch on Xbox. You have to, snap Twitch.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet.
It's weird. PlayStation has the streaming stuff down right. Just to stream out. It's just you click the share button, you start your stream, you title it and everything, and you're all set.
Yeah.
Other than on Xbox, you have to, I swore. And I always try not to. And I did it anyway. But, so... with you're marking down.
Yeah, I'm marking it down so I can go back in editing and actually catch them this time. So, no more, sneaky swears getting past me.
Getting past the censors.
Yeah.
So with the Xbox app, you have to snap Twitch.
I hate the snapping feature.
I hate Snap because it takes 12 years to open anything with snapping. Yeah. But so you have to start your stream through that. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And it doesn't tell you if your stream's messing up or anything.
Yeah.
And then to see your chat with it, you have to have it snapped.
From what I hear, most people who stream from Xbox prefer to use a capture card.
Well, yeah, that's the ideal way to do it, is to just capture it through, use XSplit or OBS, and then stream it out. Or you can just do it straight through your capture card. Something like mine does, my Hog. You can just use the capturing on that.
Yeah, I was debating on getting a caption card, but I mean, I'll think about it. I'm not a huge
get a Hapog or an Elgato.
I've heard good things about the Elgato.
The Elgato's good for certain different things. We'll talk about this after.
Yeah. Steam controller put in the hands of some reviewers. It's not actually supposed to hit the market until I believe the second week of November 10th.
Yeah, because that's when like Steam boxes and stuff come out. Steam boxes have been getting reviewed and stuff too.
So they put them in some hands of other reviewers. If you want to find some specific reviews, they're all over YouTube. They're not that hard to find. But the general feedback seems to say that they work well, but they're not ideal. Like, they're kind of funky to use because they have those two like trackpad things.
And it has like a random stick on it. Too.
Yeah,
I don't know what the stick does.
Well, that's the thing. You can make the stick do whatever you want it to do. If you have a Steam controller now, and if you do, you're probably a reviewer, so I don't know why you're listening to this. But if you do, you have to configure the controller. So don't go giving it a bad review until you actually configure the controller.
So it's like the new Xbox controller?
Kind of. To do that, you have to go into Steam's Big Picture mode. Is that little controller in the top right corner?
Right.
Click on that. You can go in there, and then you can configure the controller. I believe default, it just sticks with a normal gamepad configuration. So it uses whatever that game has for preset controls. So for like Counter-Strike, it uses the gamepad controls, which everybody knows sucks, but you can bind it to like a keyboard settings. So let's say you're playing Team Fortress with your keyboard and you want the controller to play the exact same way. You can bind everything on the controller to do whatever you want on the keyboard. So it's completely customizable. It's really unique in that way. But it's not recommended to play certain games. Like some games, they just outright say, do not play with this controller. I know off the top of my head, I know Counter-Strike is one of those games. I think maybe Dota is another one they say don't play it with.
Yeah, those are very keyboard and mouse heavy.
Yeah, so it just says don't play with those. Make sure you format it before you try using it, and then you should be fine.
Right.
But I heard the little trackpad things can be.
I don't like those.
They're apparently very like sensitive, but also at the same time not sensitive enough. I don't know.
I feel like it would be a lot of things like when you use like touch, like when you play like a game on a phone and you use like the touch thing and it will go a little too far to the right or something like that.
I haven't used it, but if Valve's listening to this, please feel free to send us one. I would love I'd love to screw with it.
Love to screw around with it, play something with it, try it out.
I'm sure Valve is listening to the No Name podcast with 3 episodes, right?
Oh yeah, I tweeted at them.
But
Harass
this is just Steam's way to like get gamers in the living room kind of thing. Like the big picture mode is like so those people on the couch can play with their Steam. That's what the Steam boxes are for.
See, my problem with this thing and with the Steam controller in general is why would someone, let's say someone's just getting into PC gaming, or even if you are an established PC gamer, why would someone look at this controller and then say look at like an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One controller and just be like, this controller that just looks weird is what I'm gonna go with.
Well, from what I hear, it's actually very comfortable to hold, so that could be a thing that
And so is the Xbox controller.
Yeah, the Xbox controller is pretty comfortable. It is rather heavy though. I don't know how this controller fares in weight, but
let me get my scale out and find out.
Yeah, I mean, what this seems to me is this is like Steam's like console bundle, right? So you buy an Xbox One, you get the console, you get a controller. You buy a Steam box, you're going to want to buy a Steam controller to go with that, right? You want to like the matching set. That's what this seems to me.
Right.
This is Steam's attempt to get into living room couch gaming.
My problem too with Steam boxes is that they run on Linux, so you're very limited.
You're not a Linux fan?
No, it's not that. It's just like the thing of I feel like they should have worked with like a Windows-based thing or at least give us the option to do that.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people develop for Linux.
That's my thing. Is that like all these new games that are coming out. Sure, they may get a Linux version eventually, but it will be months down the road, so you won't be able to play, like... Well, I'm sure you're not able to play, like, GTA 5 on that thing.
I don't know.
Or, like, I'm sure Star Wars Battlefront won't come out on it away.
I imagine if, this is probably my fault. I didn't really do any research into the Steam boxes. I don't entirely know how they work, but I thought it was the premise that anything in your Steam library you could play on the Steam box.
No, I think it's only games in your library that are Linux supported.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Because certain games are Linux supported and certain games aren't.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not...
If there was an alternate version of Steam OS that was Windows that I could use, then I'd use it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I'm not buying a Steam box. I don't.
No, I would just build a computer. at the point.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's nice for those people who say don't have the money to build a computer
Yeah.
or don't have the knowledge of how to do that.
Or simply want to like play your Steam games in your living room on your couch. Like,
I mean, you could easily do that with a desktop too. You just HDMI to your TV.
Yeah, but you're not going to move your desktop into your living room, or you're not going to build an HTPC.
What the heck is an HTPC?
Home theater. It's a home theater. It's a mini computer basically, which you use for very very basic functions like playing movies, maybe playing some simple games, that kind of thing.
I was probably going to use my TV as my monitor.
Well, yeah, but that's not really an option for people who have like. Most people have like a larger TV in their living room than they have anywhere else in the house.
Right.
So that's not really an option for a lot of people. So I understand where they're coming from with this. I mean, bottom line is Steam controller, decent reviews right now. Make sure you configure it. That's just kind of the only catch-22. Now this story, I feel like we're going to talk about.
catch-22 though.
Yeah. This story we're going to talk about for a while, I have a feeling.
Oh, is this about our good old friend Hideo?
Oh, yeah. Konami says Hideo Kojima is still an employee, but just on vacation.
No.
So, Konami today, this is October 20th, I'm quoting Polygon here, denies that game developer Hideo Kojima has left the company. Kojima is on a well-deserved vacation after a protracted stint of development on Metal Gear Solid 5. What they don't say is if Kojima is ever going to return from this vacation. And I don't mean like Hitman style, they're gonna make him sleep with the fishes kind of thing. That's not what I'm getting at here.
It'd be funny, Hideo Kojima just on a boat, he's like, wow, this really is a nice vacation. All of a sudden, some guy in a Konami uniform comes by him.
Yeah.
He's going,
shouldn't have made those Metal Gear games.
No, he comes in dressed like Snake. He's like crawling through.
So, according to a translated comment from Tokyo Sports, from an unnamed Konami spokesperson here, he says, currently Kojima and the development team are finished developing Metal Gear Solid and are taking a long time off from work. Because the development time for console games is so long and fatigue builds up, it's common for employees to take extended periods of time when the development is finished. Now, this denial statement saying that Kojima hasn't left, this comes from a report from the New Yorker. That's
weird.
Yeah, they wrote an article saying that Kojima had left the company. So Konami came out with this denial thing.
Right.
And what's interesting is when they said that Kojima hadn't left, this guy Simon Parkin, which is apparently the guy who wrote the article or whatever, he talked to Konami and said, "But you threw a going away party for him." Konami completely denied his existence. Like, nope, there's no going away party. I don't know what you're talking about. So Simon Parkin sends a photo to them of the supposed
going away
party, which was taken from an unnamed source within Konami. So we don't entirely know where this picture came from or how credible it is. But I mean, the picture does seem like a going away party. It's a bunch of people in the conference room hallway kind of thing,
right,
all holding up cups that look like a sending off. So it looks like a going away party, but Konami completely denies that this ever happened.
Is the thing in there about how apparently there was like a story with a Konami employee, like they talked to an unnamed source at Konami,
yep,
who said that he was at the going away party?
Yeah, that's where the picture came from. So that was that unnamed source. So my opinion on this is that I think they're both right, which is, well, let me explain. I think Kojima technically right now is on vacation.
Right.
But he's technically not out of the company until his vacation time is over. So as soon as his vacation time ends, he's out. So technically he's still an employee, but he's gone. He's not coming back.
See, but if the thing that's weird about this and the way Konami is wording this is that if he's just on a vacation,
an extended vacation,
and he's coming, and if they're gonna say he's coming back,
yep. Well, that they never answered.
They never answered that, but I'm saying the way that they are implying this of he's on an extended vacation implies to me that they're saying that he will come back.
Yes.
Which goes against reports earlier that they're just completely ousting him.
Well, yeah, they took his name off everything.
They canceled
his collaboration with Silent Hills.
Yeah, they canceled Silent Hills, which wouldn't make any sense if they're going to keep him around. Why cancel this game that everyone pretty much was excited for?
What was the other guy working on Silent Hills? I don't remember his name.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, we were going to put a news story in here last week about Guillermo del Toro. He was very, very upset. That's a very colorful language to state about the cancellation of Silent Hills.
About how it doesn't make any bleeping sense.
Thank you for not making me censor that.
And But everyone was excited about that.
Yeah.
After PT came out, everyone was like, "This is terrifying.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is going to be a great game.
A full game of this could be great." We got Norman Reedus involved. He's big now because of The Walking Dead. It's always been big to me because of Boondock Saints. but like, you know, he's big now because this is going to be a huge like AAA game. It's going to be a return to form for Silent Hill because Silent Hill hasn't been good for a long time.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's been all right.
So they word it and make it seem like he is coming back, but they're
when I hear vacation, I think, oh, he's going away for a while and coming back.
Yeah. When
I hear going away party, I think that's more in line with what I've heard.
Yeah. But I mean, they still have not commented as of actually today, which is what, October 22nd, October 21st.
One day after Marty McFly came back and went to the future.
Yeah. So today of this recording, it's October 22nd. The story was from October 20th.
Right.
And as far as I know, they still have not commented on whether or not the going away party ever existed. If it didn't exist, what that picture actually is.
Yeah.
And
because, I mean, that picture could be from anything. Unless there's a big banner that says goodbye, Hideo.
Did you see the picture?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, the picture, there's no, like, distinguishing marks. There's no, like, you know, confetti or banners or anything. It's literally just a bunch of people huddled around holding up a cup.
See, that could just be it could be a picture from anything, really.
Yeah.
Unless I saw a banner that was a big one that says goodbye Kojima or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that could just be a launch party for Metal Gear 5.
Yeah, this is where my kind of little skepticism comes in. If this is a going away party, Kojima is a big name. And the picture seemed kind of plain, ordinary kind of thing.
Well, I mean, it's also Japanese. They might you know, they're usually a very, what's the word I'm looking for, like humble sort of thing.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like, everyone calls Hideo Kojima, like, the genius of video game design. I guarantee you Hideo Kojima doesn't call himself that.
Oh, well, no, that'd be pretty big on himself to call himself a genius. I mean,
yeah. Everyone else calls him that, but he's all humble Japanese. Yeah, like, thank you, that's a very nice thing for you to say. Yeah. It's like whenever you see Miyamoto come out at anything.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh, this guy is...
the same thing with, like, Iwata. Same way.
One of the greatest designers in video game history, Shigeru Miyamoto. Oh, that's very nice of you to say.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You know. They're very humble. So it could be a thing of, if it is a going away party, you know, don't throw me any of this crazy thing. You know, let's just hang out and drink and talk.
Yeah, we'll have a nice little toast and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that part, there's nothing descriptive in that picture. It could be a launch party for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
It could be a going away party for Kojima. It could be anything. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly. Unless there was any, like, visual proof or whatever. Maybe if the cups had said Hideo Kojima, like, with years or something.
Yeah, as far as I could tell, they did not.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think he's coming back, honestly.
No, I don't either. Especially with, you know, the way everything's gone at Konami. Changing the name of the studio, getting rid of canceling Silent Hills, and, you know, just the way they took his name off the box and everything.
Yeah.
It's just it seems like it's just, you know, this is the final nail in the coffin of.
Take heed, Konami. Actions speak louder than words. Does not matter what you say. Oh, and we're not going to be able to do anything with this video, by the way, because we're talking about Konami. So
yeah, exactly. So even if we did do a video version, we'd probably get copyright.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about this, but the first video we put up was Konami hit us with a copyright notice. So we were trying to sort that out. So we figured we'd poke a little fun at them by talking about this story now.
That, and we like this continuing weird story of Hideo Kojima.
It's like a soap opera, but in, like, the video game industry.
I legitimately cannot wait until he actually is off his vacation and out of the company, and he can just talk to somebody about this.
What I think is going to happen is he's not going to resurface for a while. Like, he left on this vacation. Like, Kojima's name is going to just disappear from the face of the earth, right? People are going to stop talking about him. Then he's going to pop up at another company. Out of nowhere. That's what I think is going to happen.
Rumors are saying that he may pop up at the Game Awards that they do at the end of the year.
Really? That'd be interesting.
And that he may announce a Kickstarter.
I want to see him walk out on stage in, like, a traveler's cloak with a beard. Like, he's been wandering the earth hiding from Konami.
He's got one of those cool leather jackets he owns on.
Yeah, like, Konami's trying to hunt him down, so he's hiding. He's wandering through through Japan trying to...
No, I want him to come out looking like Snake. Just crawling through, gets up behind the host of the Game Awards, he's like, spit it out.
He's spent so much time on the franchise, he's become Snake. That's impressive. Kojima is Big Boss, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what if that's the next Metal Gear sequel?
Kojima as Big Boss.
Kojima as Big Boss. Because everyone on PC modded like the skin for Big Boss into that Hideo Kojima model that's in there. Because he has a cameo in it.
That's pretty funny. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, you didn't. In Ground Zero... Well, I'm not sure if he's in Phantom Pain, but in Ground Zeroes, there's a side op where you have to get like a specialist. Mm-hmm. And at the end of it, when you load him into the helicopter, there's a little cutscene. And Snake hands him a different pair of glasses. And it's Hideo Kojima's glasses. And he puts them on and the face comes up and it's Hideo Kojima's. And he goes... What took you so long?
That's awesome.
It's great.
That's awesome.
So people modded the PC version of Ground Zeroes to where you can play as Hideo Kojima and not Snake. Well, to change the Snake to Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. No matter what Kojima does, I just hope that, if he decides to, not come back into the industry, that's fine. If he wants to come back, I mean, I'll welcome him.
I mean, who knows? He could do what he's always wanted to do. He's always said from, day one that he became a game designer because he wanted to make movies, and he never could do that, so maybe he'll go and make a movie.
Would he make a movie out of Metal Gear?
I don't know if he'd make a movie out of Metal Gear, because then he'd have to deal with Konami again, and I'm sure he doesn't want to do that. Maybe down the road he'd make a movie out of Metal Gear. I feel like if they ever did make a movie out of Metal Gear, he'd be the only one who'd want to do it. Or no, people would want to do it, but he'd be the only one. He'd be the one who's like, I want to do every aspect of this.
He'd be the one I would trust to do it.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think
I think the guy who voices Snake in the most of them, besides the new one where it's Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
From 24. the kid's song. Anyway, he was right because he writes movies too. He wrote X-Men 1 and 2 and stuff, and he's written other movies. He wrote Watchmen, too. He's apparently was writing a Metal Gear script.
Cool.
For, a studio to do it, but nothing's come out of that. That was years ago that came out.
Alright, well, I'm laying down my prediction. There's going to be a Metal Gear movie. I don't know when, but it'll happen.
It'll happen, definitely. I don't know how you make that into a movie. The story's so weird. You can't, sell that.
Yeah, the problem is it's the way the games were released, it was not linear whatsoever. It jumps all over the place.
See, you couldn't make it into a linear movie, but the thing is, the stories are just so out there that I don't know if you could,
they'd find a way to do it.
You couldn't get anyone really on board with that. They'd be people would be watching and be like, oh, this is just, sort of a normal, weird military story, some weird stuff in here. Oh, there's this weird scene with this guy named Psycho Mantis.
I think what it is I want to see Revolver Ocelot in a movie form. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I want Troy Baker to play him in it, like he does in Metal Gear 5.
Fair enough.
He's like, Snake. Because he looks like Troy Baker, the face model for Ocelot, and the new one looks like Troy Baker.
Maybe they modeled it off Troy Baker.
I would assume that he did the motion capture for like he does with everything.
Yeah, possibly. But I think that's enough Konami and Kojima talk for one podcast.
Yeah.
We're already in enough trouble with Konami as it is. Let's see here. Yokai Watch gets a $99 bundle with the Nintendo DS. Or 2DS, specifically.
What's Yokai Watch?
It gets compared to Pokemon pretty frequently. It's kind of like that kind of style of thing.
Catching them all?
Sort of. I don't know too much about this. All I know is that it's apparently really, really successful. It's very popular. So I figured it would... Japan usually is where this is...
that makes sense.
Kind of big. Apparently, Yokai Watch is the enormously popular creature-collecting RPG in Japan. Launches in North America and will also be bundled with the 2DS for $99, not $9.99.
Really? $99 for a 2DS?
Yeah, they've been $100 for a while now.
Oh, the 2DS has?
Yeah, not the 3DS. That's still like almost borderline $200.
See, I would get a 2DS, but they just look so ugly.
They look weird.
They look so ugly.
My brothers have them. But, I mean, if I'm going to buy one, I don't think I'm going to spend the $200 something for the 3DS.
I don't care about the 3Ds.
Yeah,
so
not at all. And have you seen the size of the XL ones?
Yeah, my cousin has an XL
They're
one.
huge.
Yeah, and I like it. I played Smash on it. It's really fun.
Smash is really fun. If I was gonna buy any of the Nintendo systems, it would simply be for Smash, Mario Kart, and like.
I want to get a Wii U from Mario Maker. Mario Maker looks so fun.
I will buy a Wii U if they come out with a new Pokemon Snap game.
Why haven't I never even thought of that? Why haven't the control it builds itself. It literally builds itself.
It's free money. Guys, what are you doing? It'll be one of the best selling games you have on Wii U.
I don't know how you sell that game to a 2015 audience, though.
Are you kidding me? Everybody who played Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64 will buy it on Wii U.
Yeah, but let's see. How many of those... Well, first of all...
Quite a few of them.
How many of those people still play games, even? I mean, you never know. There could be those ones. Like, they could have played them as kids and then grown up and be like, I don't want to play
I feel
Pokemon,
like if there's any franchise to do this with, it's Pokemon. Because it's one of those things where a lot of people who grew up with Pokemon are in their mid to late 20s, so maybe early 30s, depending on when they started. So, they and it kind of stuck with a lot of them. It's still pretty popular amongst that audience.
Right.
So I feel like if they want to try to do that, Pokemon is the franchise to do it with. And Pokemon Snap seems perfect for the Wii U, so I don't know why that's not a...
I mean, seeing how many people got excited about that Pokemon Go mobile thing.
Exactly, I mean,
so like my saying always goes, maybe I'm the idiot here. But...
I mean... Yokai Watch, maybe I'll, if I ever do for some reason pick up a DS, maybe I'll look at it. I don't know.
Think of all things, if I was going to get anything Nintendo, it would probably be not a 2DS or a 3DS. I think I'd get a Wii U, just because there's cool stuff coming out on it. But the NX is probably coming soon, so...
Yep, I was going to throw in a story here on the NX, but there's not a lot of stuff, there's not a lot of information about it right now.
Dev kits apparently went out.
Yeah, to certain developers.
Yeah.
But no consumer dev kits or anything.
Yeah, we'll see if that catches on with actual third parties this time.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of Nintendo's, Hail Mary now. Because they felt pretty... I mean, the Wii did really, really well. The Wii U, not so much. The handheld market is more or less Nintendo's. But their console market is kind of falling behind.
I don't get why they don't just, pack it up with making consoles and just become like a Sega and just make games for other systems.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has more money than they know what to do with, right? Like, they're probably one of the...
They're like a teenage kid who would win the lottery.
Yeah, they're like the rich... And actually, their design process is more or less like that. Every generation, they're changing it drastically.
Yeah.
Look at the Nintendo 64 controller and tell me that doesn't,
They just don't care.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't think Nintendo should leave the console market. I think a lot of their console games, even if they're just rehashes of Mario and, all the same characters, they're still really, really fun to play.
I feel like Nintendo could literally make more money being a publisher/developer and just releasing games on, the Xbox One, PS4, PC than they would if they put out this system where, let's just use the Wii U as an example. The Wii U has sold terribly compared to the other two consoles that are on the market right now. I think it has 10 million.
Does that have anything to do, you think, with Nintendo's kind of release market? Because the PlayStation and Xbox always release at the same time. And Nintendo was always either 6 months before that or 6 months after that. They never hit at the same time.
I don't really know if that has anything. I think it mainly has to do with it's underpowered compared to the other two, but not that Nintendo needs that, obviously.
Yeah, it's not a terribly intensive market for games.
And it's another thing of, there's no reason really to go over to it unless you're a Nintendo fan and, you only want to play Nintendo games on it, because no third parties are supporting that right now. In the beginning, there were third parties doing it, and it was a lot of ports of games that were already out on... they had that Arkham City version for it, and they had, Mass Effect 3 and stuff come out on it. But... if you want a system to play video games and play as many video games as you can... the widest
variety of video games,
you're going to want to go for a PS4 or Xbox One. If you're I'm fine with playing a Nintendo game every 6 to 8 months, then get a Wii U. You'll be perfectly fine with that, because then you'll get everything you want.
I feel like if they were hurting for money in any way, and I mean, they could make...
They're clearly not hurting for money. They're Nintendo.
They could make a crappy system every 3 years for the next decade and still not be hurting in profits.
I know, but you just gotta... I gotta feel like their investors are, talking to them, and they're just gonna be look, here's the bottom line. You guys could be making so much more money and probably be making, better games, because you'd have more time to put it out and then not be hindered by your own hardware and have to throw in these gimmicks of the gamepad or...
You see, I'd be
motion controls.
I'd be really sad if they got away with that, because that to me is that's what makes Nintendo unique, and I think that's what they're going for. Is I don't want another standard console like Xbox One or PlayStation 4. I don't want that. I want something new and fun, and that's what Nintendo gives me.
I mean, yeah, but I wish that me being a Nintendo fan, I see Mario Maker, I'm like, that game looks awesome, but I don't want to spend $350 on a system to just play Mario Maker and maybe like Mario Kart and Smash.
Yeah, that was my problem when Smash came out. I'm like, I played it a couple times. I'm like, this is really fun. I want to play it more, but I don't want to buy a system for it.
Exactly, and that's the thing with Nintendo, is that when you get into bed with Nintendo, you're only playing Nintendo
Actually,
games.
You know what? That's kind of a bad example for me because I bought the Xbox One simply for Master Chief Collection.
You're right.
So that maybe is...
But see, here's the thing, though, with Master Chief Collection. You bought the Xbox One specifically for Master Chief Collection, but you knew that in the future, Halo 5 would be coming. All these third-party games that you'd want to play are coming. With Nintendo, you don't have that. You have like, oh, I'll buy it for Smash, and maybe I'll buy Mario Kart with it, and I'm looking forward to Mario Maker. But then after that, what else is there? And like, next year, we're getting like a Star Fox game.
Yeah, you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants when you buy Nintendo.
Next year, we're getting a Star Fox game. Who knows when Zelda's coming out? Zelda apparently might just come out on the NX now, or maybe do like a Twilight Princess and come out on both.
Possibly. But
at that point, and then think about it, once the NX comes out, which it probably will come out within the next year or year and a half, 2 years, like, then what is there going to be for Wii U owners at that point? There's going to be this library of stuff that they can play, but, you know, a lot of it, too, is just kind of what you could have gotten on the Wii, like with New Super Mario Bros. U is basically just the Wii game, but you have a gamepad instead of the... Even then, you can play with the Wiimote.
Yeah.
So...
I'm curious to see what Nintendo will do. But, I mean, back to the original story, Yokai Watch, if you're a fan of Pokemon, check it out. If you don't have a Nintendo 2DS. I've played with the 2DS. It's not as awkward to hold as it looks, is what I'll say. But, I mean, if you're a fan of Pokemon, if maybe your kids or something are a fan of Pokemon, check it out. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Stanley Parable designer. Kind of out of nowhere here. He releases a puzzle game with a playable teaser. He's working on a new game, apparently.
Didn't he just come out with the game?
He was partnered with somebody. He worked on a game.
And the other one came out with... Because they had that new... It was kind of like Stanley Parable, but it just told the story.
Yeah.
It's told like a story. It was just kind of like a visual thing. I like Stanley Parable.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I for the life of me don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. William Pugh. Pug? Pug?
Maybe Pug.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, William. But he's the co-designer of the Stanley Parable, and he has a new studio. Crows is the name of it.
I like that name.
Yeah. It's showing off its first unnamed game with an interactive teaser on its website. So if you go to a website, you can scroll around with you can scroll around with it.
What's our website? Is it crows.com?
I don't know. I'm assuming if you Google crows, there's only going to be one thing that pops up. Either a lot of pictures of crows or a development studio. So apparently to do this, you have to you click on a file folder named marked A.807 on the studio's homepage, leads to a series of correspondence and other documents from a case probing a series of peculiar disappearances across Europe. You can go through the list of contents and browse 5 of the 6 options labeled, with the final item on the list leading to an unmarked letter, and finally, an error message, which requires some extra sleuthing to get past. I'm quoting all of this from Polygon. So.
Yeah, it's just crows.com.
Is it? Oh, you just looked it up?
Yeah, I did.
So I guess once you get behind the, I guess you have to get past the error message by doing something else. I haven't screwed with this yet, so I don't know. The teaser works as a little tiny detective meets, like, text adventure kind of thing.
Right.
But they have not said, either William or the studio themselves, they have not said if the new game will play like this text adventure detective style game, or if it's going to be more of a story-based first-person perspective, like Stanley Parable. And just another thing about William here, apparently Rick and Morty creator, Justin Roiland, recently named William as one of the developers he's teaming up with for his first VR game. So
is it going to be...
That was all I was able to find about it.
Oh, man.
You a Rick and Morty VR, you thinking?
No. Alright, so here's a little... do you watch Rick and Morty at all? Have you ever watched it?
I have no idea what Rick and Morty even is.
Oh, okay. Well, it was like... It's kind of like... Actually, you probably don't even know because you've never seen Back to the Future. Yeah, Brad's never seen Back to the Future.
Yes, I mean, if you talk to me about any movie within, like, the last 40, 50 years, I haven't seen it. I don't watch movies.
In Back to the Future, there's Doc and Marty, and so Rick and Morty is kind of like
the
a takeoff on that. So, but they go to different dimensions and stuff, and in they go into space too sometimes. Mm-hmm. So in one of the episodes,
Jason there.
What?
They meet Jason there?
Yeah, they met Jason up there. And so there's one episode where they go to this arcade called Blips and Chips.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Dave & Buster's sort of thing, but there's a VR game called Roy that they play there. And what it is basically you live out just someone's life and you make their choices in life, and it's supposed to be like, to them, it's like really real, like you're actually living out this life, because when Morty gets pulled out of it, he's like, whoa, what? Where's my wife? And whatever. And
so, like, VR Sims, but, like, a lot more detailed almost?
Kind of, but you only go through the life of Roy. And you can do anything with Roy, it seems like, in the thing, because, like, Morty's thing, he just kind of plays through his life. You know, he goes through college, he's a college football, like, legend. Then, you know, he gets later in life, and his dream was to play football, but he can't do that, so he goes to work at his wife's father's carpet store, and then he finds out that he has cancer.
This is incredibly in-depth for something in a show.
Yeah. And then he beats the cancer and goes back to the well, this is Morty's playthrough of it. Goes back to the carpet store, falls off a ladder, dies.
Jesus.
So then Morty gets pulled out of it, and then Rick's like, oh, you went back to the carpet store after beating cancer, or whatever. And then when Rick's playing it, people are watching him play it on the TV, and they're like, whoa, this guy's taking Roy off the grid. He doesn't have a social security number for Roy. Like, stuff like that. So I'm wondering if...
You think that's the game he's working on?
What if he is making Roy a reality?
From what you just described, it sounds like that is far too in-depth of a concept to make in a VR
Obviously,
game.
They would dumb it down. Like, you know, this was a cartoon, so they could do whatever they wanted with it. But I assume that they will dumb down Roy and maybe even make Roy 2, Dave. Which was a joke at the end of the episode.
I don't know too much about what VR game he's working on. I didn't look it up. I didn't do too much digging into that. Although I should have, because VR is kind of my thing. But
now I want to like tweet Justin Roiland because he's good at getting back at people and ask him if he's making Roy.
Possibly, it's very possible.
I would love if Roy actually became a real game.
Well, I know we talked about Pokemon earlier when talking about the Yokai Watch thing, but here's an actual Pokemon story.
Oh, Jesus.
It's Pokemon meets Tekken.
Oh, Pokken Tournament?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew about this.
So, apparently what it is, for those who don't know, it's literally what it sounds like. It's a fighting Pokemon game. With, right now, as far as I know, there are 9 characters, 10 if you count a reskinned Pikachu. Apparently, there's one Pikachu and there's like a Luchador Pikachu. I don't know why they chose a Luchador Pikachu, but they did.
I don't know why it's a separate character either. That should just be like a skin or something.
Apparently,
it's kind of like in PlayStation All Stars where they have Cole and then they have Evil Cole.
I mean, apparently, I guess all the characters play differently. So maybe Luchador Pikachu plays differently than normal Pikachu.
Maybe he uses Luchador moves.
Possibly.
Maybe
a Pikachu using fighting moves? That'd be kind of odd.
Maybe it's like Rey Mysterio or Sin Cara.
So apparently, Poké Tournament still hasn't been localized for the United States, but it's going to see a Wii U release. Wii U.
Probably because it's a Nintendo property.
Yeah. Released in spring 2016. It's going to be a worldwide release. Oh my god, I can't speak. Supposedly, the Times Square location of Dave & Buster's is exclusively testing the game through the end of this month.
So they're gonna have a arcade release of it?
Yeah, it's already in. It's already been putting in arcades. I actually put it in the as a kind of little annotation here. It seems to be doing very unpopular in arcades to the point where they're actually taking it out of some arcades in Japan.
Solid.
But as far as I know, there's only this Times Square location of Dave & Buster's and one other Dave & Buster's that has it. I think. I don't know about the second one, but I know this first one.
I mean, maybe it will do well at Dave & Buster's and they'll expand it like that.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
It's not even at Dave & Buster's doing well?
It's not doing fantastic. It's doing very...
Because there was that Star Wars thing they put out like a couple months ago that did really well and now is in every Dave & Buster's. That Battle Pod thing.
Yeah.
I want to play that.
So, again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this guy's name. Kevin Bacchus. He's the Dave & Buster's Senior Vice President of Entertainment and Game Strategy. That is his official title.
Wow. Jesus.
And he quoted saying, "I had a chance to play it, and I loved it." He played it at a Japanese arcade trade show that took place in February.
Right.
And the game launched in July in arcades in Japan. He says, at the time, Namco and the Pokemon Company didn't have any plans to localize it into English or bring it to the United States, and I thought that was a mistake, and I told them that. So, apparently it was his kind of persistence of bugging Namco to bring it to the United States, so Namco's like, alright, whatever, fine, you can have a couple machines, put them in the stores and see how they do.
Your Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, your newfangled Dave and Buster's things. So, it goes along where you're a young Pokemon trainer, you're male, no character selection options, but your protagonist plays no real thing at all. He's just there.
Right.
And you battle your way through the rounds of a Pokemon fighting tournament. There are 9 characters that include Lucario, Machamp, Suicune, Gardevoir, Pikachu, Gengar, Weevil, Charizard, Blaziken, and the Pikachu Libre.
Oh. That's it.
Yeah, that's the Luchador Pikachu.
Nice.
So, apparently, each Pokemon has a set of 4 moves, just like a normal Pokemon kind of game.
Right.
Some of the characters use
So do you have to do a combo to do it, or is it just like a button you click and then he does that move?
From what I understand, it's a somewhat combo kind of thing where there's like a special bar. Like when you fill up the special bar, you can do like a super move. And
then you pick from one of the 4 super moves?
Well,
or is it like a Hadouken thing where, like, say, like Pikachu is his lightning bolt, I could do like forward, circle, back, X.
Well, for the Pokemon that have a Mega Evolution, which is, for those of you who don't know, who haven't been keeping up with Pokemon, it's essentially when the Pokemon Digivolves, is what I've been calling it. So when
Jesus Christ.
For the Pokemon who have a Mega Evolution, they Mega Evolve when you use that super like special move. Those who don't get like a speed power boost kind of thing. So essentially, it's the same thing, just without the Digivolve. But multiple characters have the same kind of moves. Like both, for example, Charizard and Machamp can both use Seismic Toss, but they use them completely differently.
Right.
Like Charizard flies into the air and slams them on the ground, while Machamp does like the stereotypical swings them around and throws them kind of thing.
Right.
So apparently, every character plays very, very differently. So even if they have the same moves, you still get a different play style. They all have like their stereotypical special. Like Pikachu can use Lightning Bolt, Charizard uses Flamethrower, that kind of thing. But, I mean, it seems, unfortunately, to be not doing well in arcades, and it will see a worldwide release in the Wii U, so, I mean...
Can I tell you why it's probably not doing good in arcades? First of all, because nobody goes to arcades anymore. Well, except for in Japan. Caveat for Japan.
Which,
it's also doing bad in.
Which is odd, because apparently the Tekken machines are doing surprisingly well in Japan.
They just released that new Tekken.
Yeah, it's like 7, I think.
7 or 8, whatever one they're on now.
So that one is doing extraordinarily well. Like, it's crowded around the machines. But
it's probably because that one is Tekken. That's weird to me, too, because Pokemon's huge in Japan. Yeah. And Pokemon's huge in America.
Yeah, Pokemon's huge, which is... That's what I'm surprised with. That's not doing as well as they thought it would in America, either.
But another thing is... of reason why I don't think people just want to play games like that anymore at arcades. Like, the fighting game community does.
Yeah.
But regular people... Like, I was looking at a list of Dave & Buster's games because I was just curious what they have.
Yeah.
A majority of it is all mobile games they made into arcade games. Angry Birds Arcade, Candy Crush Saga, Subway Surfers.
I don't know, what is Subway Surfers?
It's like an endless runner game. It's like
I thought it was a simulator of like the New York sublines. And
one could only hope. Fruit Ninja FX2, and it doesn't have it here, but I know this is a thing because I've seen it out in the wild.
Out in the wild.
Out in the wild. Like I've seen it at yes, exactly. I've seen Temple Run.
Yeah. And
Flappy Bird.
Yeah, so it seems to be mobile markets turned arcade. Which, I mean, a Dave & Buster's is just a place you go to eat, drink, and screw around some friends.
They also have a Mario Kart arcade machine. I want to play that.
I think this game is going to do astoundingly well on Wii U.
Not astoundingly well, because like we said earlier, the Wii U has...
Well, I mean, in terms of Wii... I mean, I can't even say that, because like Mario Kart 8 and Smash sold amazingly.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird.
Like, those flagship titles on the Wii U do very, very well, and I think this is going to do very well.
Oh, wait, no, here we go. Actually, it's Floppy Tickets they have here, Dave & Buster's.
Tickets?
It's a Dave & Buster's version of Flappy Tickets. It looks like floppy because there's like a Dave & Buster's logo there. But, yeah. So...
fair enough.
And they have three of their games on a mobile app version that you can get. It's arcades piss me off now.
It's like... how deep can we go? We took a mobile game, we made it into an arcade game, and now we're going to turn it back into a mobile game.
It's so dumb. But can I just really quickly put this in here? Because
Thank God that, I wish we had the arcades they had in Japan. Have you seen some of those things?
Yes, they're crazy.
Nuts.
They're also filled with cigarette smoke.
I mean, weirdly. Whatever.
That and pachinko places, just as a dive of you just want to dive through cigarette smoke. You got, you go to your local arcade or pachinko bar. But I really quickly wanted to point this out because we talked about it for a long time, and I'm just going to bring this up quick. Friday the 13th, the game.
Yeah.
Where Kickstarter watch $479,697 of their $700,000 goal is coming up. So looks like and it's 22 days to go. So it looks like you may get funded there, Gun Media. Watch your backs. We're coming for you. By that I mean we're gonna play your game. We're gonna scrutinize it. We're gonna scrutinize the hell out of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, here's a topic we love talking about: microtransactions. Right? We love those, right?
Oh, love microtransactions.
Payday 2 backpedals on the microtransactions that they put on. Apparently, this did not go well at all. Like, in terms of, backlashes, this was, the end-all, be-all of backlashes from the community.
What was it? Was it just
So, apparently, they introduced microtransactions for its annual Crime Fest event, which I don't play Payday, but...
Crime Fest? That sounds like a weird, sweet festival. That would happen, in a park.
Well, yeah, you've played Payday, right? You know
I know what Payday is.
Yeah,
I've never put any real time into it, but I've played Payday.
So apparently, there are drills, which are keys that allow players to get loot inside the safes that they win during a job. And these drills were part of the microtransactions. Previously, the safe could only be drilled open by paying $2.49. So it's exactly like the Counter-Strike cases, if those of you who play Counter-Strike. It's more or less the exact same thing. But the only difference is, in these safes, they have upgradable weapons and modifications, and they do have skins as well. But there's actual content in these safes, unlike Counter-Strike where it's just cosmetic skins. So people were very, very upset about this. And these drills are now part of the random loot after each heist. So you can now get these from drops. But they're still available through microtransactions. They're not taking that away.
Mm-hmm.
And people were especially upset about this because 2 years ago they made a statement that the game will have no microtransactions. So they directly went back on their word, added in microtransactions in its truest form, and people flipped out. And it took them all of, I think, 2 or 3 days to just take it back. Because at first they ignored it. They just said, alright, whatever, we're going to leave it. And then they realized that, no, this backlash is getting worse, we need to do something. But, I mean, I play a little bit of Payday, I play a little bit with some friends of mine. It's a fun game to screw around with, especially when you always have that one idiot who, you're trying to be quiet and he shoots 3 people.
That sounds like it would annoy the out of me.
Yep, it definitely can.
I'm trying to do something quiet.
Yep, and then he just shoots. It can be really frustrating. But, I mean, if you're a big Payday player, you probably already knew about this, and this probably upset you. If you don't play Payday, then you have no idea this happened, and you probably don't care. But we have my last news story here, and this one's going to segue into our next statement, or our next segment, so this will work well. We have Square Enix is planning to continue revitalizing their existing IPs.
What does that mean? What kind of IPs are we talking here?
So they didn't specify any any IPs in particular.
Tell you when they don't need to revitalize.
But they
Just Cause.
Yeah, I think they're still in the making sequels phase of that yet. It'll hit the remasters eventually, don't worry. But they released their annual report, and it says that the company details earnings and successes over the current year, as well as its business strategy for 2016. And one of the first points that they make in that report is they're continuing to remake older IPs for the current generation. So, for example, they have the Final Fantasy VII remake that they're making.
Oh, yeah.
So, they're planning to continue that model of remaking for this year. So, as far as I'm aware, their choice for original titles is really not really going to happen this time. This next year is going to be mostly remakes.
Right.
Which,
Capcom's doing that too.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, a lot of people are doing that now.
Right.
Are you excited for the Final Fantasy VII remaster? Or remake, rather? I don't want to say remaster because it's not.
It's not. It's like a remake from the ground up.
If they change the part where they where Cloud cross-dresses, I'm going to be really upset, mind you.
I don't think they're going to take that out.
They better.
I don't think they're taking out any story stuff. I think they're just basically like remaking the content, maybe.
Well, they're changing something.
Maybe
so
change the combat system of it.
That's kind of Final Fantasy's thing, is the turn-based combat system.
I'm not going to lie, I've never played Final Fantasy VII. I've actually never played a Final Fantasy.
You've never played a Final...
in my life.
Okay, you see the look I'm giving you? This is the look that you give me when I say I don't watch horror movies.
Well, yeah, because that doesn't make any sense. Everybody watches horror movies.
Everybody plays Final Fantasy games.
My grandma has seen a horror movie, Brad.
I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. That must have been a horrible experience for her. But, I mean, like, if you're going to play one, play 7 and 10. Those are my two suggestions. I like 10 more than 7, but I've never actually completed 7, so...
I'm just going to play 13, because that's the one I've heard.
Oh, God. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna jump to 13's defense here. It's not as bad as I went in expecting. It's not great. It's not the best Final Fantasy game they've ever made, but it's playable, and I'm enjoying it, actually.
What's 14? Is that like an online thing?
I think so. I haven't played... I think my brother's played 14. I have not.
I can't stand turn-based combat.
Really?
Yeah.
I love turn-based
I'm
combat.
big on it.
Well, then you'll like 13 because it's not turn-based. It's like... It's real-time, like... How do I explain it? You know, like in Gears of War when you have to hit the certain thing to get a special reload?
Right. Oh, like in Star Wars Battlefront.
And like in Star Wars Battlefront as well. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, but on a larger scale. Like you have this bar.
Right.
And as you use moves, it fills up the bar. And it's constantly moving through the bar, so as you're clicking things, it's doing them.
Right.
It's a weird kind of combat system, but it's not that bad.
I've actually heard 2 is good of those. Like 13.2 is good, I've heard.
Well, I mean, the 13.2 is... I haven't played it. I have it, but I haven't played it. I haven't beat 13 yet. I think it's just about... It's just about the main character of 13, which I don't like the main character of 13.
No, I think it's about, like, her sister or something.
I don't know.
Because I think the 13.3 is, like...
Do they have a third? I don't think they have a third.
Yeah, they do.
Really?
They do.
Oh, yeah, that one's Cloud's... not Cloud.
Lightning Returns.
Yeah, Lightning Returns.
Which was, I think,
That's
main
the
character.
one based on...
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, so I was wrong. 13.2 is not what I thought it was. Which is... Actually, I have both of those, so I don't know why I didn't know that. I own just about every Final Fantasy game, so... I love the Final Fantasy series.
I couldn't get it. I don't like JRPGs, honestly. Like, I liked Valkyria Chronicles. Like, that was that was a weird thing for me to like Valkyria Chronicles.
You gotta play at least like 7 and 10. Those like they're flagship ones, the ones that everybody agrees are the best.
Things I wonder with this thing of Square Enix revitalizing franchise. I wonder if they're gonna remake, like Deus Ex, like the old ones, or maybe some of the old Tomb Raiders. Like do a Lara Croft collection, like they do with Master Chief.
I will put a link to the Square Enix annual report in the description of the video, so if anybody wants to read that and check that out for yourself, you can do that.
It's it's a trend that's happening now. It's a trend that's always kind of happened, but it seems to really now be coming to the forefront.
Well, based on that trend, let's move on into our weekly issue.
Welcome to the weekly issue. Here's what we talk about. An issue that hits us right here in the kisser. By that I mean my heart.
He says kisser and he points himself in the heart, so...
Yeah.
It's just where we talk about any issue that bugs us about the gaming community or whatever.
And Brad has it this week.
I do, and my what I have this week is the issue of remasters, revitalizations, remakes, that kind of thing. That seems to be becoming a normal trend rather than releasing new IPs. And I was curious what your thoughts on this were, Jake, because we didn't. This is one of the first weekly issues that we didn't talk about beforehand.
So with the remake thing, I am conflicted on it. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with certain things, and I do have a problem with other things. Like, if a game literally came out, like, last year, and they like, The Last of Us remaster, I have a little bit of an issue with, because, like, they remastered it within, like, 6 months of the regular game coming out, and then I'm so conflicted on even my points that I don't like, where with the Last of Us remaster, I get it though, because a lot of people who got PS4 were 360 owners.
Yeah, so they want people to play one of their most popular titles on the new system.
And then, like, I feel like a remake is okay too if we're a few years out from it.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a new game coming out and they want to kind of get us. So like when Hitman Absolution came out, they did the Hitman HD trilogy, where it had like 2, 3, and Blood Money.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that because like you couldn't really get 2 and 3 unless you played them on PlayStation, or I think they were on original Xbox.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So it's kind of like when they did the Ratchet and Clank ones too. I was okay with those too because like again, it's like a generational leap with it. But especially now, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do an HD remake because we already had HD on the old systems.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting that much more graphical power out of it. And it's just, you know,
the kind of remakes that I think are like, I don't want to say necessary, but I enjoy and I'm okay with, are the kinds that like you can clearly see the benefits of what that remaster gave you. Like take for example the Master Chief Collection. It was horribly broken on its launch, by the way. The multiplayer was absolutely horrible, but the story was all functional. And like Halo 1 and 2, there are some pretty big graphical jumps.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, I still play Halo 1 on the default graphics because that's what I loved about the first Halo. I don't know, I just like that look.
That blocky.
I do.
Look.
I love that look. And it bugs me to see the things that I recognize in a game, but look completely differently. But, like, it looks really, really good in the new graphics. And I feel like that's kind of the thing we want to aim for. So, I don't think anything on Xbox 360 or after really needs a remaster. You should be aiming for those titles that
unless it's part of a collection.
Unless it's part of a collection, like for example, like Fallout 4 is coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if they I'm surprised they didn't do like a remaster of the first couple, like Fallout like 3 in New Vegas.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, they're coming in backwards compatibility.
Yeah, so I mean,
kind of that.
Kind of.
But you're not getting like a remaster of it, but you're getting the ability to play it on.
Yeah, which I suppose is enough. Like that's really all.
The problem being though that only one of those systems has that.
Can do that because they changed the way the PlayStation 4 works.
Because the PlayStation 4 doesn't have a horribly broken processor like it did on the last one. At least it wasn't broken, but the processor was incredibly hard to develop for, and you can't easily bring that over to their PC architecture that they have now.
Yeah. So I mean, I think remakes and remasters should be focused on games that you actually cannot play otherwise. Either because they're unplayable because they're ugly to look at, or they don't run on current systems, or whatever the case may be. Like Final Fantasy VII, I think, is a great example, right? Because Final Fantasy VII is a pain to get to work on Windows 7. I haven't tried it with 10 since I upgraded.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's going to be much of the same. Because it's not compatible with that operating system.
Yeah, you can't run it on PC well and pulling out a PS1. You know, some people may not even have a PS1 anymore.
Yeah, and there are backwards ways to get Final Fantasy VII. Don't get me wrong. You can,
could always just go the ROM route.
Yeah, exactly. You could always there's ways to get it, but that's a lot of work for that kind of
Plus,
of thing.
it's not going to play as well because you got it on.
So that's the kind of thing they should be aiming for, where it's like. It's a really, really well-received game, but I can't play it now.
Like, the Wii Virtual Console is a good example.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, maybe just making these games just available now.
Yeah, I think making them available is enough. You don't need to remaster them.
Yes.
Actually, that depends on the series, I guess.
Alright, so, here's the thing where I didn't even get, like, that mad with, like, Uncharted, where it just came out recently. Because I wanted to play Uncharted again. But I don't have a PS3 anymore, and I'm not going to go out and buy a PS3 just to play the 3 Uncharted games again to get ready for 4.
Yeah.
But the fact that they all came out on PS4 makes me go, well, maybe, I could spend this $60 and play through all of them again and then get ready for when Uncharted 4 comes out in March.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a... I don't want to say delicate issue, but it's a case-by-case issue.
It's the kind of issue where you can't have a blanket statement of... remakes are bad, or remakes are
amazing.
Great.
Yeah, there's no, remake everything or remake nothing. There needs to be, a kind of a fine line to walk. And
it's the kind of thing, too, where even you could say, oh, I'm not behind The Last of Us getting remade, but I get why they did it.
Yeah.
And, I'm somewhat happy that it's here now and I can play it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing,
So I think that these remakes, remaster, like the Gears of War 1 remaster, I have a pretty big problem with. One, because it's a $60 title that is nothing but the remaster of the first game.
Yeah.
That bugs me.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do like a Marcus Phoenix collection or something, like if they wanted to do that, or if they just wanted to do like, whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah. I think right now it's called
Gears of Ultimate War Edition.
Ultimate Edition.
Or there's even like that Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition is just Darksiders 2 again.
But with like the DLC things attached or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was mainly like skin stuff, and I think there maybe might have been like a couple extra quests to it. But other than that, plays exactly the same as the same game. Yeah,
those are the kind of things that I have a problem with. One, because you're not getting much else in content. Two, because they look close enough to the original game where a remake was not necessary. Which, again, I reference back to the Master Chief Collection. With Halo 3, they didn't do a full overhaul. They just did touch-ups, which I think was enough, because Halo 3 looked good enough as it was.
Alright, here's the thing, too, and this is going to sound like weird on me, because I just said HD remakes that are, were close to the release of a new console are dumb to do, right?
Already backtracking on yourself?
I'm already backtracking on myself here because I just thought about this. The game that I probably play the most on Xbox One is Grand Theft Auto 5. Mm-hmm. And that's just because Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of my, legitimately one of my favorite games of all time. Grand Theft Auto as a series has always been, my favorite thing. My favorite GTA is Vice City, but that's not the point now. But, 5 is literally one of my favorite games of all time. So, when that came out on Xbox One, I looked at it and I was like, is it really going to be that different? But the thing is with that is they basically kind of redid everything in that. They redid all the textures. Yep. They added more civilians. They added in first person mode. So maybe it just depends on if they really change stuff from a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a case by case basis. There's no blanket statement that'll fix. I don't want to say fix this issue, but address this issue.
Like with the Definitive Edition, like we were talking about, that's just a remake of the second Darksiders again.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
That's just a remake of Gears of War, but with GTA, let's say, they changed stuff about it. They added stuff.
Yeah.
It's become,
which, from my understanding, is what they're doing with this Final Fantasy VII remake. Or remake.
They're rebuilding the entire game from the ground up, basically.
They're making... And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy VII. I played it. I didn't beat it, but the whole blocky thing is really... It's cool. It's a nice, nostalgia-type feel. But, I mean, having it in nice graphics is a good thing. I don't care how much you like nostalgia.
Yeah.
You want things to be pretty.
I mean, who knows? They could always come down to they could have a Master Chief collection, sort of click a button, go back to the old graphics.
Oh,
thing.
I don't know if
they will be able to do that because of the way they're remaking that game. But
it'd be a kind of cool option, but I don't think it'll happen.
No, I don't think it'll happen either. But I'm being devil's advocate here.
Yeah,
and I'm saying it could happen.
Yep. I don't know. I think this is something this has become This has become the microtransactions or the day one patch kind of thing, where it's it just become kind of the standard now to remake a game that did well.
Yeah.
Not necessarily games that need remakes. What's a game right now that you think should get a remake?
Right now, I don't really know. Do you have one so that way I can think for a little bit?
All right, a game that I want to see a remake. Well, I mean, I already talked about another Pokemon Snap game. Not necessarily a remake of the old Pokemon Snap, but...
Yeah, that's just kind of like a sequel, though.
Yeah. Remake of an old game. What are games that I played a lot when I was I don't know, all the games that I played a lot are getting sequels or getting something.
Yeah.
I'm getting a new Final Fantasy VII. I'm getting another Star Wars, because I played a bunch of Battlefront. I got another Diablo, because I played a bunch of Diablo 2, and I played a little bit of Diablo 1. Everything I played is getting... I got Halo Master Chief Collection.
Alright, I have one kind of here, and this is just a pipe dream. I know this probably won't happen because Activision just kind of has them locked up in a vault here. But I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of the old Crash Bandicoot games.
That'd be pretty cool.
Kind of a thing to say give it to a new studio and let them work on these remakes of let's say 1 to 3, maybe put a couple of the ancillary titles in there, like Twin Sanity or something like that, and then be this was basically a new engine and a new way of fixing up some gameplay hitches that the old ones had, and we're making a new Crash Bandicoot out of it. It's not going to be one of those weird ones where you have to fight with monsters, and he's not going to have douchebag tribal tattoos anymore. He's just going to be good old Crash Bandicoot again. if I thought of a remake of what I'd like to see, it'd be that.
What was that? What was that game with the like the raccoon dude with the hook?
Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper. I'd like
they did a Sly Cooper collection on PS3 because Sly Cooper 4 came out.
I didn't know they did a collection of that. That's kind of cool. I love the Sly Cooper games. Those are pretty fun.
Yeah, they did a collection before the fourth one came out, and then
weren't they supposed to make a movie of that?
They are making a movie of that.
Or is that still happening?
It's coming out after Ratchet and Clank because the same company I think is doing it. Ratchet and Clank the movie looks good, but speaking of Ratchet and Clank the movie, Insomniac is doing a remake of the first Ratchet and Clank, but it's based on the movie, which is based on the first game.
Why not just base it off the first game?
Well, it's alright. So what it is basically a remake of the first game, but it's with movie stuff in it, and with I assume the voice cast of the movie,
which is odd.
Which the major characters from the games are the same voice actors from the game, but like
I think it's just they want that game to be a companion to the movie, so that's why they did it that way.
Basically what it is. So like, I feel like this movie too is a good way of introducing Ratchet and Clank to a new generation of people.
Yeah, because if you didn't grow up with Ratchet and Clank, it's not one of those. It's not.
And plus, too, even if you came up later in life and had a PS3, you got all the crappy Ratchet and Clank games. Yeah, you got like All for One and like that weird tower defense one.
It's not Pokemon. It's not crossing the generational gap.
Yeah,
there are very few games that actually do that.
So I feel like, if you do this new movie and it does really well and it's actually good, and then you have this game that comes out that's good, which it probably will be, then you've basically just reintroduced Ratchet and Clank to a whole new audience, and that's what I think remakes are good for. There we go. There's my point there. Remakes are good for introducing a franchise to a new audience. To say you get those snobby people out there who are like, oh, that game looks like. I'm not playing that. But redoing it, they're like, oh, that looks kind of fun, and it's a new way to change it. It's a new generation to introduce it to. Like, I feel like if they did do a remake of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4's engine, it could do really well and could introduce people to the franchise. Yeah. But there's no need to do it. Just play Fallout 4. It's a completely different story. Yeah. You don't need to follow anything from it.
I think remakes or remasters work the best when they're paired with something or they're leading up to something. So there's a reason for them to exist. Yeah. I like the... I hate to go back to Gears of War again, but is there any Gears of War thing coming out?
Gears 4.
Is there?
Yeah, it got announced at E3. They showed a little gameplay demo of it.
That's right. So, okay. So I understand, I
But
guess.
even then, this Gears... Gears
it's not old enough to...
Gears 4 is apparently coming out next year. So it makes you think, why not do the Gears remake towards the end of this year or even beginning of next year when there's
closer to the release of the Gears 4.
Exactly. Like with Halo the Master Chief Collection... It makes sense why that came out when it did because, Halo, for all intents and purposes...
Well, they used it as a flagship for Halo 5, because when you...
That too.
When you got Master Chief Collection, you got the Nightfall series that you could watch.
And you got the beta. But what I'm saying is for all intents and purposes, Halo is sort of an annualized franchise. Like, if you think about
at this point, it's close enough.
Every year, there's at least a title with Halo out there.
Yeah, if it's not a main flashing title, it's like Reach or it's Spartan Wars or something. Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, or like that Spartan Assault, or what was the other one they did? The twin stick shooter ones.
Oh, like the top down arcade kind of things. That I think that was the Spartan.
They had Spartan Assault and they had a different one though. I can't remember.
I know they had the real time strategy Halo Wars one.
Halo Wars, exactly. So every year there's at least a game that comes out with Halo in the title. Like, Halo 5 is the big one this year, but I'm sure next year, because Halo Wars 2 got announced, Halo Wars 2 will be out, and then Halo 6 will come out.
Yeah, it's close, it's more or less an annualized title this time.
Yeah. It's not like Call of Duty where, every year there is a flagship Halo title, but it's close enough to the point where if you're a Halo fan, every year you're going to get a thing with Halo in it. Yeah. So, it made sense that Halo the Master Chief Collection was that year's Halo. Yep. So,
yeah, as long as this doesn't continue to the point where we get more Last of Us situations, I don't want more Last of Us situations. I don't want more Gears of War situations. Like the 17 editions of Tomb Raider that keep popping up. If Tomb Raider wasn't constantly being given away free, I would be more angry about that. Yeah. But if you don't own Tomb Raider at this point, wait 3 months and there will be another deal where you get Tomb Raider for free.
I think there's a bundle for Xbox this year that comes with Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, see,
so you get both of them.
And they have that weird Gauntlet style one where it was
It was a top-down shooter.
Yeah. Trials of not Trials of Osiris. That's Destiny, isn't it?
No, Trials of Osiris. It was something Osiris, that one. And then they had the one that was on 360. It was like Guardian of Light.
Yeah. My video game titles are all screwed up today. I can't,
But so, we've basically come to the end of that, but I want to talk about something real quick that I forgot to talk about in what we're playing again.
Okay.
And speaking of putting a shiny new coat of paint on something and making it look nice again.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that Star Wars trailer.
Oh, okay.
Also, going into your weekly Star Wars minute.
Weekly Star Wars segment.
Wow. That full trailer.
Trailer was really cool.
Was a trailer. And you know what I love about this movie? I still don't know anything really that's going on in it.
I know a decent amount.
Yeah, you know the basic premise of it, but you don't have anything really spoiled for you. Like, you know that, and alright, so we're going to talk about this trailer here from now on. So if you really don't want anything spoiled for you, skip ahead a little bit.
Well, this is more or less the last.
This is more or less the end. If you really want to hear the call-outs...
Yeah, you can skip to the end, the last 5 minutes or so. But from here on, it's going to be Star Wars.
It's going to be Star Wars. So, we know that Kylo Ren is working to bring back, basically, the Empire. Yeah. And he wants to finish what Darth Vader started. Yep. And that's...
Which he looks really sick, by the way. He looks really cool.
And his voice is sick, too. Yep. And he's just like, I'm going to finish what you started. And I thought in that last trailer when they showed that shot of the melted helmet, I was like, that's just for trailers. They're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah. No, it was there.
They're doing something with it. I don't know what's going on with Luke either.
He appeared quickly. Did you notice?
They do. They have the shot of him from behind touching R2-D2.
Yeah, and then that same area gets hit with Kylo Ren's attack. So it's kind of like a... I hope that they're not trying to foreshadow a Luke gets injured, dies kind of thing. If that's what they're going for, I hope that's not it. But
it's oh man, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about too. Like that girl character, she seems awesome.
What's the name of the actor who plays her? I forget.
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah. Did you see?
Her video of her watching the trailer. And,
did you
crying.
see Boyega's reaction?
No, I didn't. What was Boyega's?
It's the funny. I think he's sitting next to his dad or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's watching the trailer and he's nodding as it's going along because he's recognizing the things that he's seeing. And I think it's odd that we don't think that these people see the final version. Yeah. They see it at the same time we do. Yeah. Because they don't see the post-production stuff. But he is going through the trailer, he's nodding his head, he's like, yep, and then he shows up. You know, in the part where he shows his lightsaber? Yeah. So he sees him go like this, and he's like, and then he pops the lightsaber, and he flips out. He jumps backwards, he rolls over the couch, he loses his mind.
You know what I love about John Boyega is that he's just a normal guy who got put into Star Wars.
He got put into Star Wars, and I give him credit. He got a lot of stuff thrown at him for being a black Jedi and blah 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 blah. Yeah. He got a lot of stuff, a lot of hate thrown his way. But
he went through it. Because it's so cool, because John Boyega, the only thing he's really done before this that was a big thing was he was in this movie called Attack the Block, and it was this little British independent alien invasion movie, and it was really small. It was all in an apartment complex, and so he went from doing that to being in Star Wars. Yeah, and he's just a normal dude like us.
Yeah. And he's seeing himself in a Star Wars trailer being a Jedi. That is
that's his reaction of him flipping out over the couch. If I was in a Star Wars movie and I had a lightsaber and
I'd do the same thing.
Freak out. I'd lose my mind. I'd be I can't do anything better.
Yeah. So you had what's her name in her bed
Daisy
watching
Ridley,
the trailer.
Yeah, and
Daisy
she just starts
Ridley.
crying. Me and her had the same reaction. It was weird. The only thing that was really bad about this trailer was that I had to sit through Monday Night Football to see it.
Oh, it popped up on YouTube almost immediately.
No, I know. I didn't want to wait, though. I was just I want to be a part of this event. This is Star Wars trailer is an event. I want to be a part of it. So I kept switching between Raw and football. But...
Yeah, I had somebody on watch for me. I'm like, listen, I can't watch Monday Night Football right now. If the trailer pops up anywhere, let me know immediately. Yeah. And within 3 minutes of the trailer starting, it goes, oh, it's right here on YouTube. Yeah. I guess the official channel uploaded it almost simultaneously.
It was basically once the trailer ended on Monday Night Football, it went up on YouTube. Yep. The craziest thing was the trailer had only been up for an hour and it already had 100-something thousand views. Yeah. It was crazy. By the next day I checked it, it was not 5 million. It was 20 million.
Did you see what that trailer did to various websites? It crashed them.
It crashed all the movie ticket selling websites. It crashed Fandango and Movie Tickets, the two biggest movie ticket websites. Yep. Crashed them.
It crashed almost the theater-specific ticket ones got crashed. The big ones like Fandango got crashed. Like, everything went down.
I think one of the Disney websites for it went down.
Yeah. Like, there were just so many people trying to get tickets for it immediately that everything just collapsed.
It's just... I think IMAX 2 crashed.
Yep, it did.
This movie is insane.
What do you think the sales are going to be on opening weekend?
Oh, it's going to be...
Because December has a habit of having bad opening weekends.
Yeah.
Historically, anyway.
The only real competition it has that I guess would appeal to the same sort of audience, because, like, you gotta think kids are gonna want to see the Star Wars movie. The only thing I can think that kind of applies to it that comes out on the same day is Alvin and the Chipmunks: The Road Trip. And I don't think that's gonna do Star Wars numbers.
No,
obviously.
I mean, like, I'm sure, like, the young kids want to go see Alvin and the Chipmunks, but Dad's going to see Star Wars, so exactly. I'm sorry.
So, like, with, like, the young kids, they'll probably want to see that if they haven't been introduced to Star Wars yet. But I'm sure the dad's going to be like, I don't want to sit through another effing Chipmunk movie.
Yeah, he's like, nope, I grew up with Star Wars, and Star Wars is back, I'm going to see Star Wars.
You're going to love Star Wars as much as I do. But, like, with this too, and with, like, it feels so weird seeing Star Wars again.
Yeah.
And it actually being good this time.
Well, let's not.
Like, when I was a kid, like, to me it was good.
Yeah.
But as I've grown up, I've seen the flaws with it, and I get that it's not. Like, the prequels are not great.
The prequels don't compare to the originals.
No, the originals are always great. Those were great. But with this one...
I think that... I'm just going to, like, quickly point in here. I think the prequels get more hate than it's deserved. They're not great, but they're not as bad as people think.
There's only one that's really, really bad.
Let me guess, the first one?
The first one, yeah. Phantom Menace is really bad because, like, it's really boring. It's a lot of Trade Federation talks.
I'm annoyed they got rid of Darth Maul so quickly. That's kind of my only thing with the first one. Other than that, it's fine. Whatever. I don't hate Jar Jar Binks throughout the prequels like everybody else does.
The whole, like, long stretch on Tatooine is kind of boring.
Yeah.
That final, like, just segment of it is there's too much going on. There's the fight on Naboo. There's the fight with Princess Queen Amidala or whatever. Yeah, right. Queen or Padme or whatever. Yeah. Padamame. Then there's
Padamame.
There's
is that a sandwich? No, that's a panini. That's a panini. Never mind.
No, I was. There's a joke in Robot Chicken in the Star Wars special where he's like, after the Death Star gets blown up, the Emperor's talking to Darth Vader on like the phone, and he's talking to him, and he's like, you don't want me to go over there and talk about how you cried about Padme or Padamame, whatever her name was, or whatever. So I always like that. But then there's like little kid Anakin Skywalker in space, and then there's the Darth Maul fight. There's just so much going on with it that it's just like it's too much to process at one time. The movie's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But overall,
third one was pretty good. I like the third one.
Third one is great,
especially like the towards the end when they're doing the fight in on Mustafar.
Yeah, and he's just like, God. I have the high ground. But there's just other stuff in this trailer I just want to point out really quick that I liked. I liked seeing like all like the sets look real.
Yep. It
wasn't all just like we're in a blue room. That was nice, which is what the prequels were. It was just we're all in a blue room.
The new I keep forgetting his name. The new robot, the round dude.
BB-8.
BB-8. He's actually a fully functioning.
Yeah, I know. I saw that at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, like they brought him to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, that too. And then he just came out. I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, apparently it's the one they used on set. Like, he's fully functioning. He's not like R2-D2 was, but it's some guy stuffed in a suit.
Yeah, but even then, the R2-D2 suit is fully functioning. It's just some guy inside there controlling it.
Yeah.
But BB-8's like remote controlled now.
That's how you know we're in the future now. We don't need someone piloting our.
There is a guy. The guy. It's the weirdest thing. They got like everybody back from the original. Like even people you don't need. Like Peter Mayhew, who plays Chewbacca in the original, is playing Chewbacca again. Guy who played R2-D2 is playing R2-D2 again. It's just these weird things that they're doing, but it's nice. It's fan service. But and then there's like the shot with oh Jesus, a fly. The shot with Han Solo when he's talking to them and he's just like, it's all true.
I keep seeing the picture everywhere where in one of the movies he says, it's all mind trick, it's all blah blah blah, it's all tricks and mirrors or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's all like he doesn't believe in anything. And then the bottom one is I've seen some stuff, man. It's true.
It's true. And just like in that moment when she's like, I've heard stories, and he's like, it's true. It's all of it. I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. And then like you see Princess Leia for a little bit,
yep.
and that is a quick flash of her, and there's just like then that lightsaber fight in the snow looks like it's gonna be intense.
Yeah, seriously,
like it looks like it's like between Kylo Ren and John Boyega, it looks like it's gonna be like a crazy like balls to the wall like lightsaber fight.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited, but we need to end this show because we went way over time.
What are we at?
We're at 135.
Oh, gee, we're getting longer every week.
I know, but you know what?
Every week we say, you know what? We're cutting down the news stories. We're cutting down this. We're cutting down that. We're gonna make the time, and we always go over.
We just talk, and that's the thing.
Next week, no Star Wars.
There'll probably be Star Wars.
I mean,
something will come out.
They're out of stuff. They've done the poster. They've done the trailer. They've done the game.
Oh, I didn't even talk about the poster.
Okay, well, I mean, the poster. Just look it up. It looks cool.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I want it framed on my wall.
So, I mean, yep, I think that's about where we're going to have to end it today.
Yeah. Do the spiel?
Yeah. Okay, well, if you want to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us at completewithdlc@gmail.com. Send us your questions, your concerns. Tell us we suck, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Just send something our way.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear from you.
You can get with us on Twitter, completewithdlc there as well. Again, we do have the Twitch account, Complete with DLC there as well, but it's not up and running or anything like that. With November coming, we may actually stream some stuff. Yes, we might do some live streams. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're on SoundCloud as well. Again, Complete with DLC. We're very franchised at this point.
Yeah.
Unsuccessful franchise, but we're franchised.
With this, you're probably listening to it on SoundCloud because we're only doing the audio only now.
Yes. The video caused way too many problems.
The video caused way too many problems at this point. Once it's, easy to do, it'll be fine. But you're probably on SoundCloud, or you're on iTunes now because we're on iTunes. We're working on getting on Stitcher for the Android people. We're just waiting for them to come back to us. And then we'll be basically on every podcast service you can think of. If you want to look on Podomatic, which is where I did use to do the RSS feed, I guess you could do that if you like using Podomatic. I've never used it, though.
If you're listening to us on iTunes, please leave us a review. Tell us why we suck if we suck. Yeah. Tell us why we're good if we're good. We want to hear your feedback. If you send us an email, leave us a review, whatever, and you want us to read it during the show, we can do that. Just make sure you specify that you want us to do that.
If you want to send a question to the show, because we at one point would like to do a question segment.
Yes, we answer your questions or whatever. Make
sure that you put in the subject line "question for show" or something like that.
Yeah, or in the subject of in the body of the email, just mention that you want us to read it on the show.
Yeah.
If you want us to just answer it privately, we can do that as well.
Yeah. Anything.
Jacob, where can they find you if they want to get in touch with you personally? Because nobody wants to talk to me. That's fine.
Literally any social media you can think of. At It's Jay Griff, ITSJAYGRIFF. You can do anything you want. I mean, I usually follow back on people on Twitter unless they're clearly a spam account. Instagram, same thing. Xbox, PlayStation, all the stuff that matters. It's Jay Griff. Brad, where can they find you?
Well, if you want to get in touch with me, I am most likely going to be the one reading the show emails, so you can get in touch with me at completewithdlc@gmail, like I said. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kalgny, Kalgne. I'm not streaming too much right now because I don't have a suitable setup, but I will fix that as soon as I can. And I'm on social media. Yes.
Brad, I have to change the description now.
You do.
From none to whatever it is.
Yep. What happened was I had an old Twitter account that I used simply for news. Just to keep track of some things. I didn't use it for anything active, but I decided to go back to it rather than create another one. So if you want to follow me on Twitter for whatever reason, I'm not going to check this ever, so I don't know why you'd want to do this, but I am at Kalgne, at Kalgne, just like Twitch.
I'm going to follow you.
Go for it. This account's pretty old. It's mostly just follows a bunch of gaming stuff and VR stuff. It's what I used for my news for a while.
That's crazy. Brad's on social media.
I am, but I mean...
What kind of crazy topsy-turvy world are we in?
If you want to get in touch with me, that is probably not the best way to do it. Just email the show.
Yeah. One last quick check of the thing. 480,142. Friday the 13th, the game. We're coming for you.
Jacob is checking this Kickstarter religiously.
I am. I've been checking it every day. We're coming for you, Gun Media, though.
We're not threatening. We're not coming for you. We want to play your games.
Yeah, we're not going to break down the doors of Konami or anything and destroy everything.
No,
but
we're going to find Kojima. We're going to make him have us make a Friday the 13th game. Yeah. It's going to be better than yours.
We're going to make Halloween the video game, and we're going to take you down.
And on that note, I think it's time to end the show.
Yeah, but seriously, Gunmedia, if you want to hire us or anything, I would love to write a Friday the 13th game. Just not the point. Okay, thank you for listening to Complete with DLC. I'm Jacob.
I'm Brad.
And this has been the show.